Oye, mi gente. We're back with another one. Welcome back to my Lord Live and Direct. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment if you like the content later, excuse me. All right. We're taking a break from Ryan Garcia. Don't ask me. At this point, I'm going to tell you, I believe in due diligence, and I've been saying that. I'm biased in this, right? I'm neutral in this. I pick no sides. I don't care. The comments are crazy. And you know what? I'm going to be so neutral that I'm not even going to say what side the comments are coming from, because actually, to be in all fairness, they're coming from both sides. But some are just ridiculous. So you know what? We got the facts, right? It's up to the New York Athletic Commission to do what they're going to do. Leave it at that. All right, everybody. This whole new stuff with the company coming out, defending themselves, and we're going to sue Ryan. No, they're just defending themselves, guys. They're trying to protect their product. They're a huge company, right? You can't take that kind of. Anyway, like I said, let due process take its course. Tonight we're talking about Tank Davis and Frank Martin, which is in 10 days. All right, the MGM Grand is going to be packed, sold out show. Supposedly these numbers are going to be better than Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia's numbers, which were big numbers, right? And I want to talk a little bit about, you know what? I like the matchup. Don't get me wrong. I like the matchup a lot. I just don't think that the fight should be hyped up as much as it's being hyped up to. I'm going to be real. I think Frank Martin is a great talent. I think he's a great fighter. I think he has a lot to prove still in the world of boxing. And you know what? The Las Vegas' spread shows that, right? These are professionals who make these spreads, right? They analyze things. They come out with the spread later. And that's basically what it boils down to. Nothing's guaranteed, right? Nothing. There's always a puncher's chance. But we're going to get in. We're going to dive into it a little bit. And we're going to kind of analyze what's going on here, right? Because at the end of the day, listen, man, we're talking about Tank Davis, all right? Tank Davis, I know some people like to say, well, who's he fought? Listen, guys, he's fought a lot of guys. Tank Davis, if you guys are not, I mean, the only people I'm hearing that from are like the casual fans, right? Like you obviously don't watch boxing all the time or all the fights. You're an occasional, let me go to a friend's party, jump in and watch the fight. I hear you. But you can't, honestly, you can't say these things if you don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, we can go all the way back to Pedraza, right? We can go even further back than that, right? But Tank Davis is credited for fighting some really good fighters, right? And the only reason that he outshined these great fighters is because he was at another level. When you see somebody that special, right, that talented, and come in and do what they do, you know, when you mix talent with raw passion, motivation, right, and just a pure focusness to be the best at what you do, that is a recipe for greatness. And right now, Tank Davis has that. And for those who disagree with me, I'm sorry. I mean, we can disagree like human beings, grown men, but I would tell you that you're wrong if you think not. If you said he was the face of boxing, I would have an argument for that. Sure. I think he has to do a little more before we can say he's the actual face of boxing. We all know at this point that belongs to Canelo or Terrence Crawford, someone like that, or Alexander Usyk. You know what I mean? But when I look at this fight, I like it because there's some drama behind it, right? There's obviously a little bit of a feud between each other. They've sparred before. One side said he got the advantage over Tank Davis, Frank Martin's side. Tank Davis' side said, yeah, you landed one good punch and then I pummeled you. So there is some friction there, right? And of course, with any good fight, that's what we have, and that's what brings up the ticket sales. So we do have a sold out show. We do have a packed arena. we have a great fight. I think that Frank Martin is going to be able to put on a good enough show to make a statement, I guess, right? I think he'll be able to carry his name with this, right? This does way more for Frank Martin than it does for Gervonta Davis, right? I mean, Gervonta, at the end of the day, could and should be going for, I don't want to be disrespectful. That's not disrespectful, is it? He should be going for championship fights, right? He should be fighting, and even Shakur Stevenson, right? I mean, even that is like, you know, that would be a great fight to watch. That would be a great fight to watch, right? There's some tension there too. But to be honest with you, I think that'll be kind of a boring fight, right? Because Shakur Stevens is highly defensive, not mainly super offensive. I mean, Tank will be running around chasing him all night, and hopefully you'll be able to catch him because he's very elusive in there. I think it would form to be a boring fight. I don't see Shakur Stevenson being a big puncher, high output in what jabs. I mean, he doesn't really have a lot of lateral movement. You know what I mean? He doesn't. When I look at Shakur Stevenson, I credit him for being a great fighter. You're a good fighter, but there's some things if you're going to get in the ring with Gervonta Davis, you know, I think you have to add some weapons to your artillery. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real with you. But let's just say I would love even more so, right, to see him rematch an Isaac Cruz. What a match that would be. I mean, Isaac Cruz came in on short notice, very short notice, and put on a show. I mean, I didn't actually think that was a landslide win for Tank Davis at all. If anything, that was more of a split decision, and it could have went any way. You understand what I'm saying? So honestly, I think that would be a fantastic fight to see. Isaac Cruz is now the champion, so that gives Tank a chance to unify the belts, which I think he has to do it at this point. After this fight, who are you going after? You know what I mean? Unless you jump up to 140 and fight Lomachenko, you know what I mean? For that IBF, he just won, and that's if Lomachenko even wants to fight you at this point. I think if Lomachenko's going to fight anybody, really, to be honest with you, at his age, he looked very good against Kambosos, didn't he? I thought so. I'll be honest with you. But if I'm Lomachenko, you want to unify belts, don't wait any longer, right? After this Martin fight Tank Davis. But that's a big if, right? Because at this point he's a little older. I'm not saying he's scared. I just think that's a big risk. If he's going to unify belts, it's going to be up there in the 140 class, and he's got some options. But again, that's another Shakur Stevenson possible matchup with Lomachenko. So that whole division, the 135, the 140, stacked. I mean, I would even. How about this? I'm even as far to go as NUA. Right, I would love to see NUA fight Tank Davis. I think he's a little small, right? I think Tank Davis gets the best of that, even though NUA is, Jesus Christ, he's undisputed. He's well accomplished. I mean, that guy, what hasn't he done in boxing? I mean, if he's not the new age Pacquiao, I don't know who would be. So there's options. Again, this fight here, if I had to honestly. Again, I like Frank a lot. I think Frank's gifted. Frank, I think you're extremely, extremely gifted, and with your athleticism and your trainer, right? I mean, because you got Derek James, who better to have than Derek James in a situation like yours? I think if you have any big of a chance to win this fight, it's going to come down to the game plan, right? That's really what it is. You have all the tools. But can you stick to the game plan? And not only that, let me just go a little deeper. There is levels to this shit, guys. I mean, it's a fact. I just think that the experience that comes along with Tank Davis, the fights he's been in, the trainers that he's had around him, the history of the Mayweathers, and look, I'm just being real. I think he's at a level that Frank Martin is just not at this point. And I think that's going to show. I mean, Jesus, at this point, right? Vegas, I don't even have to look at this point. Vegas has him at a negative 700. That is a huge, right? Martin is at a plus 450. That is a huge spread. That is, you understand what I'm saying? If I'll tell you what though, if you want to take a chance on Martin, I don't think he's going to knock out Tank. He says he has to knock out Tank, and he says he's going to try to knock out Tank. But trying and going for something like that could possibly get you knocked out. So take caution, Frank. You know what I mean? But that's huge. You put money down on Frank and he wins. And then if you pick the right round, if you pick how, like a KO or TKO, or I mean, you can parlay this any way you want, right? But I mean, that'll be a huge payday. So play it how you want to play it, right? I'm gonna give you my pick. I'm gonna let you know right away. I honestly think Frank's gonna win this. I mean, excuse me. Boop. None of that. Rewind that. Let's digress. Tank's gonna win this fight. All right, and Tank's gonna win this fight. I would have to say by TKO. I don't think this is going the full 12 rounds. Honest to God, and I'm being firm on that too. That's not changing. I think I'm 100% right on this. This fight ends. I would have to say roughly around, and it could be sooner. It could be sooner, but I would say 7th, 8th round, maybe even the 9th, and that's going to come down to their stamina, right? Their agility, whether Frank can actually go that. I mean, and he has. I mean, when we look at his record, he has. He's won by unanimous decision more than a few times. So I mean, I just don't think he carries the power. Tank has a 90. Do you guys understand? 96% knockout ratio. That's power. And you know what? Actually, some fighters who have fought Tank say it's not even the power. That those punches are just at like the average hard punch. He's a puncher, but it's the average hard puncher's punch. They're saying it's his preciseness. It's his ability to time something and precisely punch you exactly where he wants to. So and that makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, you can be a puncher. There's punchers out there who punch so goddamn hard they hit you anywhere and they're toppling you, right? But in this scenario, you have more than a few fighters who claim that fought. I mean, excuse me, not that claim, but when they fought Tank, they claim to say his punches are not that as hard as what people are talking about, right? So again, that's another part of this discussion that we have to analyze and say, well, you know, he's that accurate. He's that accurate. He's that accurate. He's that fast. He's got great footwork. He knows how to cut off a ring. He knows how to pursue you. I mean, his agility in there, his ability to stick to a game plan, all of that into that one package. I think Tank Davis is destined for big things, and I hope moving forward that we see him challenge and better fighters going for greatness. You know what I mean? Like that's really going to separate you from the Mayweather era. You know what I mean? That whether you're better than him or not. You know what I mean? And I don't think you're defensively better than Mayweather. I have to be honest with you, Tank. You need to stop saying that. Like I don't think anybody will ever be. I mean, let me not say ever, right? I mean, there's going to be some kid who grows up and is infatuated with the Mayweather like we were with Michael Jordan or Roy Jones, or you understand what I'm saying? And there's going to be a fantastic young talented kid coming out of the woodwork one day. But yeah, I honestly, when I look at this, and you know what's funny? I don't even need to because I know it, right? This kid Frank Martin in the amateurs, what did he fight? 31 times? You got 13 knockouts. Is that what I saw there? I'm almost 1,000% on that. No, even how about this? I'm even wrong, but he had 16. He got 31 fights overall. That's what my brain's telling me. He's got 16 fights in the amateurs, and he's got 4 KOs. I mean, that's hardly, guys. Let me tell you, when I fought in the amateurs, you should be in the amateurs. You should be racking up the fights, right? That's where you get your experience from, right? A lot of it, anyway. When you go pro, you get that real experience, right? But I mean, that's only 16 fights. It's not a lot. That's you know what I mean. Then you go to the pros. What's he got? 18 fights total. 18 fights, 0 losses. Out of those 18, he's 12 knockouts. He's 60. What are you? 64%, 66% knockout ratio. So that tells us the story right there. That he's not knocking out Tank Davis. That's not happening. Neither do I think you're gonna beat up Tank Davis either, right? That's not. It's not gonna be like a I'm whooping his ass all night type fight. I highly doubt that. That's never happened before. It's not gonna happen now. Tank would have to come in on an extremely off night in order for something like that to go down. I just don't see it. I really don't. So again, I'm not gonna drag this one out. This is cut and dry for me. I think Tank wins by TKO, somewhere in between 7, 8, and 9. You guys pick. I would have to if it was me. I've watched a lot of Frank's fights. Frank is resilient, and he's got a beard, man. He can take a punch. Whether you can take a very accurate, well placed Tank Davis punch, soon to be seen, right? So I'm gonna tell you, if it were me, I'm placing that TKO somewhere around the 9th round. With tiredness, being tired, probably getting frustrated with Tank and making a mistake of if he gets off the game plan a little bit, who knows? We'll see how that works with Derek James in his corner. I know Derek James is he's one of the best coaches around, if not the best trainer around. So, but I am absolutely saying that Tank is going to TKO this guy. And I would have to say 9 or for me, it's going to be 9 or 10. That's what I think. But it could be anywhere between 8. I'm not even going to say 7. I think that might be too soon. I'm going to say 8, 9, and 10. For me, I would take it around the 9th. Be honest with you, and that's a TKO, not a knockout, not a 10 count. I think the ref waves it off. So that's my pick. Again, I'm going to tell you guys this whole Ryan Garcia thing. Listen, I love engaging with you guys. I think it's a funny situation how there are some people who take this way too serious. Guys, Ryan Garcia is Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney's Devin Haney. You realize that they don't affect either one of us, right? We just report the news and you guys move on to live your life and watch the next fight, right? Let's just leave it at that. I mean, I don't mind engaging with you, but some of you guys are getting personal. I mean, it's whatever. I honestly don't care. But if I don't respond to you, it's because I probably didn't like your comment. And I think it's just foolish to even spend time to even reply to you. So that's what I have for you guys. Thank you again for supporting the channel. Come back all the time for your updated boxing news. I'm on All 11 Direct. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button. Comment if you like the content. I'm out of here.